Hi, my name is Eddie.
Maggie
Um,
Malone.
Could you introduce yourself and also introduce what is your job in this program?
Sure. So my name is Maggie Malone. I'm the director of the NASA SEMAA program here at Hartnell College. And SEMAA stands for Science, Engineering, Math, and Aerospace Academy.
And how does this program help kids in the community? It doesn't have to be in Salinas, but anywhere around this community.
So there are 15 SEMAA sites in the nation, and we are one of them, the only one on the West Coast. So for us here it's huge. It's very important because not all the kids in California, I mean not only California, but all the West Coast, they don't have an opportunity to have a SEMAA program in their community. For us to have it here in Salinas and in East Salinas, it serves so many purposes. The kids can walk here, they can take part of our program, they can come several times a year, get exposed to the college life, the college education, and also understand that there is support within the community for whatever they desire to do in their future.
Also, when you got students, what are the average grades that you take them in?
So our program is a pathway into college. We have students from kindergarten to 12th grade. And we actually have classes from kindergarten to 12th grade going on year-round. I think the strongest grades that we don't necessarily focus only on, but 3rd, 5th grade, and then the middle school part is strong and important. Sometimes the students don't understand really the importance of a hands-on science program for them, but we want to capture them in kindergarten, period. That's when we want them, because that will allow them to be exposed to our program and all the other programs available in our community from an early age. Because if you don't catch them by 3rd grade, their math skills might not be the best, and they'll feel frustrated with anything that gives them a challenge. So there's been a lot of studies actually about the importance of early education. We want those students to start in kindergarten, but we want them in every grade.
And just to run off of what you said, I've known that there's a lot of kids are very scared of math because
Yes.
a lot of them don't have help from their parents.
Yes.
And because of that, they'll have help and they don't do so well in the beginning of their education. They begin to get this fear of doing math and not even trying anymore. How does this program pretty much help them jump over that hurdle so they get comfortable with it? Or
So again, if you start early, it makes it easier because you're getting into before that fear. I mean, kids in kindergarten don't really even know much of math. They get introduced to math. But it's so important that they do, because then by the time they're in 3rd grade, when they start testing and stuff, they're not afraid of it, as you said. It's true. Our program is a hands-on program, which means the kids are doing activities at the same time that they're learning. So for example, they will be measuring worms, and they have to take the little ruler and measure them and then write down the numbers. They have no clue that their math skills are being put to set. They're having fun. There's a little wiggly thing going on there. And if it's not a worm, it's something else. They're shooting little rockets. They have to measure to see how high they're going. They don't think, oh, this is a math problem, I'm going to walk away from it. They're just saying, oh, this is so cool. Of course, they don't even think. They're just going to write them down, and they're going to make an extra effort. And then, of course, they're going to have the support from the SEMAA teacher and their own teacher. And then we have a component called the Family Cafe where we bring the parents in, and we want to explain to them why this program is important and why their support at home is important, how they can help their students. If a parent asks us, what can I do at my house? Do you have any resources that you can provide me? We do have those resources. We have guides, that are student guides, we have teacher guides, and we have parent guides. So if a parent asks for something for them to do stuff at home, we have that, we have it covered. And they can feel taken care of at home. But we do cover the parent involvement. We're very, very strong in that. It's very important. If the parents are not supportive and they don't understand, it's not going to be successful.
so what is this? Could you clarify more on the Family Cafe?
Sure. So our program has 3 components, right? We have the academy, which are the classes themselves, which the students can take twice a year, once during the academic year and once during the summer. And the academic year for us is winter, spring, and fall. So there are 3 opportunities for students to participate in SEMAA. And so the Family Cafe is a concept, it's not a place. We don't have a store or something. We just go to the schools where the students have been participating, or here in the Alisal campus if we're here. And we invite all the parents and caretakers, family members of the students that have participated, so that we can tell them what SEMAA is and what their students are doing. Traditionally, the students who have an after-school program, they don't really share with their families or their parents. I mean, they're tired, they don't want to talk about it. We know that is just a given.
Yeah.
So when we bring them here, the parents are always so surprised, and they're so happy that their child had an opportunity to be exposed. And then we don't only tell them about the program, we talk to them about why it's important that they support their students, because later in life they will have job opportunities and they'll be fine. I mean, it just gets so much better. So this is not just educating the student, we're educating the parents in the community to make them understand the importance of education, period.
Yeah.
Then we get into the STEM education, then we get into the opportunities that Hartnell College has to offer them, which are tremendous. And unfortunately in our community, the good news of what's happening in Hartnell is not going out. There are other things that are more important to the media. So we want to change that a little bit. We want the parents of all the schools that participate to understand what an awesome institution Hartnell College is. So by bringing those parents here and having a relationship with them and keeping them informed, we think that that's going to be a great value for their students. The third component of our program is called the Aerospace Educational Lab, which is the lab where we're sitting right now. It's a 275,000 state-of-the-art computer lab where it was designed for the upper grades that come and have classes here. We have a good number of computer stations with everything related to aerospace. So the upper grades come and take half of their classes can be done here and the other half in their classrooms. And now we use it as an outreach element. So we have field trips here from the schools from every single grade. I mean, we've even had preschoolers come to check it out, and we'll design something specific for the group that's coming. So this is as an open room, open lab for the community to come, and anybody can enjoy it. All of our programs are free. We don't ask for anything from anyone. We do get donations though by parents and groups that are interested in helping us. But the idea is to be open to the community so that they can access this and get to know what we do here better.
And you said this is the only one on the West Coast.
Yes.
And that's like throughout whole California, there's only one here in Salinas. How hard was it to get it started, and how stable it is now?
So it's not just California. I mean, if you think about it, there's Arizona and Washington State, all those states, there's nothing. There's nothing. And I do get calls from people in San Diego and Las Vegas and Arizona that want to participate because they've heard of the program, but they have to come to Salinas. So the program historically was started in the East Coast by an initiative, I'm talking maybe 20 years ago. A couple of senators got together and decided that the minority students were not having the opportunities to go into STEM fields, and there was no resources for them. So they decided to create SEMAA, and it was created initially to serve the underserved and underrepresented minorities, and at that time it was African Americans. After the years, and they had several SEMAA sites. Historically, there has been, I think, up to 30 sites in the nation, with several of them closing. Now we only have 15. The emphasis and the change in demographics in our country called for change. So the last call for grant application came, and they were targeting institutions that served minority, underserved populations that reflected the new demographics of the country. And you know that the Latino community is the majority now. So when the RFP came out, somebody in Berkeley that had a relationship with Hartnell sent over an email and said, this is a great opportunity, Hartnell seems to be a great fit. So they looked into it here at Hartnell, saw that this would be a great opportunity, and without really knowing or deciding anything, the president of the college decided we're doing it and announced it to the board. So they had to apply for the grant. And awarded to them 2.5 years ago. And it was very sudden, and kind of unexpected because it was the last minute. They literally applied the last week or 2 weeks. They didn't have a lot of time. So they had to set up everything. They had to set up this room. This room was designed, it all happened at the same time that they were opening the LSL campus. And this room was going to be a conference room. And then when the grant came in, they decided, okay, we're going to change everything. And NASA actually came down here and put everything in place. And this aerospace educational lab looks exactly the same everywhere you go to all of the sites. And at the beginning it wasn't easy because it was hard to get the community and the teachers and everybody involved and excited about the program. But over the years, we've proven to be a very successful program through partnerships, through talking with different teachers, enrolling the students, being out there in the community, doing a lot of outreach, and starting a program as well as we can because it's absolutely ideal. I mean, we provide everything. We provide the training, the supplies, the stipend for the teacher. The teacher just needs to go out and get students. But it's not easy when you don't know what's going to happen. We've been here for almost 2.5 years now. We have teachers that are committed with us and they come back every other session, and the word got out to the public. And all of our events have been very successful, and everybody's supporting us well. So when you have a program that is running well, that is working well, it just gets everybody else more excited. There are a few conversations about not starting new SEMAAs right now because of NASA budget cuts, but we will be working with other institutions and organizations around the state to form partnerships to see how we can help them at least start with the academy and maybe a family cafe event, and then allow them to grow and have this. So we're trying to duplicate or replicate our program into other sites in the state of California.
And could you tell me any experiences, like have you ever got any kids that came back after going through this progress and telling you, oh, because of this program I would like to become an engineer or a scientist or an astronaut? Have you ever got any feedback from the kids that when they go through here they're like, oh, this is awesome? You know, have you ever got any?
All the time.
All the time?
All the time. And it's interesting because at the beginning we'd get one and I'd be like in heaven. And now it's becoming something so common to hear it. And I still feel very emotional when they tell me because you never know how you can impact a child and a student. Just last week, now that you mentioned, we had over 150 people come to the lab for different reasons. We had a field trip that was part of the whole campus, then we had a field trip specifically for the AEL. We had some events here, and then we had a family cafe during the weekend. In the Saturday, after I left the family cafe, I ran into a Coder Dojo was going on, which is another program here, and I peeked my head in to see what was going on, and I saw some familiar faces. And I thought, I know those kids. So I asked the instructor, I said, who are these kids? And he said, you know what, we had 12 new students come. I said, 12 new students? And I looked at them and he said, they all came from the same school. So I walked up to the students and I said, what school are you from? And they told me that they weren't from the school that was here. And I said, why are you here? And they said, because you told us to come, because you told us that there were opportunities for us. And I almost had a heart attack because I couldn't believe it. You never even think that they're listening to you. And then I ran into a mother of one of those students, and she told me everything that I had mentioned to her daughter while she was here. She said, my daughter said that you said that there are opportunities for us, that we have to go into a STEM field, that we can dream big, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, really? So some teachers have told me, they've actually emailed me or come back and said, what did you tell our students? Why was this so impactful for our students? Why are they reacting? Why do they want to do this again? And I said, I think it's just because I'm not their mother, but I am a mother, so I know how to talk to them. I'm not their teacher, but I'm an educator. So I am not the person that they're seeing every single day that teenagers kind of get sick of. I'm exactly the same person in one, and I have a NASA logo. And that's really cool. And I think that that's why they come here. They're mesmerized with the beauty of this lab. I mean, this lab is beautiful. And we've had several students that not only come back once, they actually come back several times. In the summer, we have we have a partnership with the University of Monterey County, which is the golf program for students. We give them 6 weeks of SEMAA classes, 1 week. They're 1 week long classes. We've seen students that come to at least 4 or 5 weeks, and they're supposed to take 1 week, but they love it so much that they want to come back every week. And then I had recently, a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from one of our high school students that we have a couple of modules over the summer and during the year too, who told me, I loved your program so much that I'm applying for college and I'm using my experience in SEMAA. I'm writing it into my college application, and I'm pursuing a career in STEM. We've had little kids, of course, who always want to say, I mean, everybody wants to be an astronaut, and I tell them, you don't have to be an astronaut, you can be a computer engineer. But we give them all the options, and we've had a lot of kids reacting. We have 2 testimonials from students that took our robotics class that we have available, and we have experiences from teachers and a lot of awesome reports from the parents. We do a parent survey at the end of our sessions to figure out how well we're doing, and that's a way for us to know. And we also do keep track of the students that come back, because we do want to know who's coming back and if they're coming back every year. Potentially, if a student starts in kindergarten and does SEMAA every year, at least once a year, they can accumulate 440 hours plus of hands-on science, extracurricular, because this is after school.
Yeah.
So the potential there is huge. We're too small. We haven't been doing this for long enough to keep track of the students, but we do want to do that. We're working on trying to figure out assessments that we can follow the students and find out if it was really impactful for them to come to SEMAA.
Hey, now let's just say it's just a comment that I really think this program is flourishing, and I believe that I've heard from several siblings of mine that they have heard about the program, but they have no clue about it from teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that once it gets itself rolling and it becomes more broadcast to the Salinas community or the community around Salinas, that it will become really impactful to our future kids. And I really thank you for the interview, and
Thank you for your words. I'm hoping that it does come a reality. It's a lot of work, but this is a very fulfilling job. I mean, I leave every day and I'm happy. I'm stressed a little bit because there's a lot to do. But when you see those students, and if you think that at least one of them is going to try, because, I mean, we use a video that says, dare mighty things. That's what we want our students to do. We want them to try, to dare, to be successful. And we have the resources here in Heart now to help them too. I mean, you guys are proof of it. Thank you.